I don't think about success at all. When I step outside myself and think about success, I would say that personally, I think I should be pleased with myself. I feel like I'm really successful. Put out 6 records, toured the world, played with pretty much every hero that I had played with. I never expected to do any of those things, and when you do them, you can take them for granted because there's a big lead up to doing them, and you feel every bit of it along the way. But you really have to put things in perspective and go, well, hang on, you're extremely successful. In my mind, I've achieved more than George Michael. Being able to keep doing it, to be able to keep making stuff that you think is interesting, but you're proud of. I think that's pretty successful.
Well, it came quickly, cover of night. Hope turned in at sleep, murmured, will it be alright? Well, others could slip, well, others could fall. The ocean border, spat kid falling the one at all. There's no use engaging in warfare with what you cannot see. A little bit of light never hurt nobody.
Probably played good, but there'll probably be about 7 or 8 people there. Last time we came to Ballarat, it was really bad. It was about, I think there was about 12 people there, and it was just kind of, yeah, it was a bit of a struggle. And it was really cold too. It was just freezing. I remember it after the show. I think the venue made us all cups of lemon tea and stuff like that after the show because it was so cold, and they sort of felt sorry for us.
Like, we have to be out here at 8. I don't think anyone's going to want to get up any earlier than that.
You weren't kidding, were you?
I've got friends that, their idea of going to a gig is that once every 4 years when Madonna or the Rolling Stones come, they go and buy a $300 a night hotel room and, get really drunk and have fun with their $400 tickets and, spend a lot of money and that's their idea of going to a gig. They don't go to shows every Friday night or Saturday night and see shitty little bands at little pubs.
People don't like music. Most people find music loud, annoying. It's a background thing for them. It's the people who do like music, then you've got to win them over in terms of taste as well. So it's a really hard thing to do. Most music fans, I think people are fickle. I'm fickle as well. There's only a very small number of bands that I've liked forever. Blue Bottle Kiss is one of them.
Graz's guitar is still in the folder. Alright, it's gone now. Alright, I'm sorry about that. We're going to start now.
Sound was pretty bad on stage. Apparently it was good out the front, but I wasn't out the front, was I?
Jared, the kick drums on the one. Oh, I can't even hear you. Oh, forget about it. Don't talk to me.
That'd be good, like Brokeback Mountain, but in rock and roll.
Yeah, Franz Ferdinand style.
When you're travelling like a place like Australia, it's just you got your 1,000 kilometres from Sydney and Melbourne. You do a couple of shows. You might go to Adelaide. If you drive that's another. I think it's about 8 hours or something. You travel back. That's if you're all trying to do it on the cheap, which is for usually 4 guys. It's the cheapest way to do it.
You ever seen the video that killed his career?
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna eat it. That's right.
He was riding pretty high.
think at the level that they're at, they really should just be in that privileged position where all they should have to concentrate on is the music and the songs and the performance. Although unfortunately that's not always the reality, and there are a lot of bands doing it themselves.
Where is this place, man? I don't know. I've got to go with you. I don't know where. I've got to. Hey, Warwick, do you know where Triple R is? Triple R.
I'm not sure who we have to sit, but where Jamie and Willie live on East Richmond Point.
Oh yeah. All right. Big seat. One's just on air.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Here's your guitar, Mr. Vaughn.
We put our records out with this really cool guy named Nick Carr with Non-Zero Records, and he brought us over and hooked us up with Blue Bottle Kiss, who's on his label as well. And they're obviously a great band, and so it's been really a lucky break for us to get to be here.
Looks like any other house, I suppose. 6 months later, he called me from a payphone. He said he'd gone AWOL.
I think that's the main thing with hiring any kind of help for a band, is that help usually works off commission. If they don't work off commission, we can't really afford to pay them. And if they work off commission, they can't really afford to do it because they make no money. So yeah, so it usually gets done ourselves.
We used to play more, we'd always have a little bit of cash flow just to keep the band going and pay for rehearsals, but because we haven't put out an album for a while, it's really hard to tour unless you're a really big band. It's hard to tour unless you've got something to promote. Especially when you're just touring in Australia. Like most large bands, they're touring all over the world the whole time, so it's not like everyone's getting sick of them because they're playing Spain and then they're going to England and they're going to... And so they're playing everywhere maybe once a year, and it's a special occasion where they play once every 2 years somewhere, where we're just touring around Australia.
There's not that many cities to play.
They were with Murmur, which was the indent label that Sony had set up. Blue Bottle were one of the first signings, along with I think Ammonia, Something for Kate, and then Silverchair. An incredible, first record. I guess though, for a machine like Sony, it didn't have the really obvious singles and the obvious kind of radio hits to back up what they need for that machine to work. After a few tries, it just didn't kind of match, and they weren't Silverchair, and yeah, they were let go.
It wasn't too far when I saw her at the station. I made sure she missed my eye, waiting for the train or somebody. And by the by, she was at the top of my list in pencil. Realistically, she was on the bench, cause if I find a spar in the pre-acquaintance, run up tonight, cause now, well.
You don't really have to worry about anything unless you make money. It's when you make money that everything gets difficult and people start having arguments, having problems, but we've never made any money, which is good in a way.
Hello. Good. You sound not very bright and chirpy. It was a good show. I mean, there's a lot of people. Yeah, like it was about 240 people. Yeah, Ballarat wasn't too bad either. There's about 105 people or something, which is quite a lot for Ballarat. It's one of those dumb places, you know, where a lot of people just go there to drink, but they pay the door charge, so a lot of them just aren't really listening. But and then of course the DJ pumps on as soon as you get off stage, which is kind of annoying. The place last night's a really good place to play. Like the sound is really good. It's really like when you're on stage, almost like you feel like you're playing on a record. It's almost too perfect. It almost makes you nervous because it sounds so clear. You can hear everything. But yeah, it was good.
Can you remember all these?
The words?
Yeah. I'm gonna make.
I do know them, but I still have to look at them. I know it looks pretty bad if everybody's staring at the floor.
I know, man. That's why we're practicing, right?
Yeah, we'll try and do it without looking at the words.
Okay. If you're traveling. Oh, I should do an intro
Maybe
first.
You should play it by.
If you came back after most people were leaving.
Yeah.
And you came back and started playing like love songs.
Yeah.
You know, when everybody's drunk at 1:30.
Yeah.
That's what he did. And people weren't paying attention because people were used to, we're having such a good time at the rock show.
Yeah.
So anyway, he just starts going like, you motherfuckers. You know, I sit here and I write these songs. It was really like a fucking 20-pile car wreck. But it was, you know, I felt bad for the guy. I understood what he was saying, but...
I know, it's hard. I get pretty sarcastic sometimes when we're playing live. I just can't help myself. I don't know why. It's like this self-protection thing, you know? Like, I always just have this presumption that no one likes our band. So I get up and I want people to know that I really appreciate it, but I don't want to be... I don't want to be too earnest, because then I feel like I'm just going to get my pride's just going to be given a good kicking. So I kind of like, it's bad. I try not to be. I used to be really sarcastic years ago when we started, not rude, but I don't know, it's just a way of amusing myself. And I'm not even really like that as a person, because I don't like nasty people, you know.
Yeah. But being nasty is a bad habit.
Yeah. And the worst thing you can do as a musician is get all bitter, you know. And so and it's easy to do, and some people do. And it's so I worked it early on that when I was becoming like that, I went, man, you just can't, you know, you either got to quit or you got to have some joy in what you're doing, or it's just you're just a sad sack, and who wants to listen to a sad sack?
When all love is left you cold, when no one return that call.
It's gratifying knowing that people are interested. It's like the audience is giving you a gift, really, by turning up. But then I hate it when people turn up and they don't listen. I feel like kicking them out, you know, which I don't really have a right to do, but I get pretty insecure about people not liking it. WLHR is probably the best out of the four, I reckon.
And it's hard work to motivate yourself to do something like write an album. You know, when you've got everything else going on in your life, at least those other bands that are at that elite level, that's all they have to concentrate on. Whereas people like Jamie, or, you know, people like us have to get that together and put that hard work and deal with people creatively, and, you know, and it's quite a kind of an emotionally and physically draining process. And at the same time, try and do things like hold down some kind of job and hold down other parts of your life. So, yeah, I think in general people do have, they think if you've got a song on the radio, you must be making some kind of money, or that you're more popular than you are.
These plastic handcuffs on fire, 'cause I'm taking the slow train to a coffee jail. And you think that we have improved with age, handcuffs on fire, 'cause I'm taking a slow train to a comfy jail. Thanks very much.
Make no mistake, this is where musicians, and I think people who don't understand how tough the music industry can be, this is where they make mistakes haggling over money. The main point is that there's hardly ever any money, and people are working for free all over the place.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah. I don't think tonight's going to be a highlight by any means. I think, yeah, the Oxford Tab's usually a pretty ordinary sort of show. Pull into this car park just here.
I think the hardest part of touring is like the preparation, because I kind of tour manage whenever we tour. Yes.
Is it towels?
Yes, they're under this one. Because I'm kind of tour manager, I try and get everything really like an itinerary with every detail and do everything in a month or two before the tour. So that's always really stressful for me. And then once we're on tour, I can kind of, if I've done, prepared properly, I can kind of just have it all written down and not have to worry so much about it.
No rider here. Stop drinking water if you're thirsty. No beer.
All we can drink, huh?
We can drink water. Not bottled though, just out of the tap.
Here we are in the great city of Wollongong, and no one's here to merch film. It's kind of weird playing here. It's like an RSL. Yeah, I don't like travelling all the way to get to a place like this.
So it must have been under pressure before it came off. Yeah.
Is there anywhere in Sydney where they sell shirts, like T-shirts or any kind of shirts?
Yeah, stacks of places. What sort of
They probably have
T-shirts?
places that sell clothes too, man. I bet. Yeah.
I'll just drive down, check into the hotel on the way through.
Where we staying?
Caratel. Where else?
Yeah.
5 bunk beds.
Yeah.
One fold out.
Yeah.
It's on the nod.
We need to leave at about 7:30 in the morning, I think. Maybe 8 o'clock if we make time.
Oh.
Willie and Jamie have an interview on FBI, 11 o'clock.
It's terrible planning. No how. Aussie blokes. No how.
It's not a rose garden. There's things that are definitely hard about touring. It's hard to be kind of with the same people kind of day in, day out, and spending all day in a van with them and working with them and working together to try and push what we're trying to push, forward.
Blue Bottle Kiss is never going to appeal to everybody. It's just not that type of band. It's not going to be, Gwen Stefani.
Kind of edutainment in a way, like it's, about presenting their music in a way that hopefully makes people think, and it's not easily digestible, but that's kind of half the fun and the excitement with Blue Bottle. A lot of the time, they're incredibly beautiful, lyrics and melody, and they're just, will go from that into this absolute onslaught and barrage of sound and, distortion, which for a lot of people is never going to sit well.
You're kind of given license to do anything you want on stage. You can act like a complete lunatic, but it makes total sense in the context of the moment. Like this consensual thing where you can kind of get really immersed in it, and the more you do it, people like it because it's like you're doing it for them, because they'd love to be doing the same thing. Everyone feels like going crazy a lot of the time, but they feel too constricted to. So for a lot of people going to see a band where the music is aggressive and there's that energy, they get caught up in it because they feel like it's them.
Short square guitar cases. Short squares. My jazz master.
Wow. Browsed it like you've never seen him before.
No hands. Okay, so we had 71 players. Takes us to 1065. We just had a $1 head venue hire, so I've taken that out.
Okay.
So it leaves $9.95 cash. You just wanted to check that off. The payment for being in the music industry for most people is simply the fact that it's great being around people who are interested in the same thing as you are.
How much women are in Army? 8?
Oh, I don't know.
Jamie? So that was a good night. 91 big ones.
There are a lot of people who feel that if they could only have got that break in music, then everything would have been different. And it's just not like that. I've got friends who sell, photocopiers who make $200 grand a year, which will be more than almost anyone in the Australian music industry. And they're going to make that for 30 or 40 years of their life, and they have a very comfortable living. If you want to make money, do something realistic.
Hi, Ben here from Blue Bottle Kiss.
True love of mine.
FBI, Jamie Hutchings and Willie Vlotten here on FBI here with a lovely song, a Bob Dylan tune, I believe, Girl from the North Country. Thanks for that.
I've always been really intimidated by people that write books because it's just a blank piece of paper with words on it, and people create this kind of alchemy out of it.
And I guess if you've been condensing things into verse, chorus, etc., it must be a little sort of a newer territory to sort of expand it into a longer format.
It's not really that. I think it's more the fact that like music's a marriage between noise and words, and that's why it works. So it's this abstract, intangible thing, and it can make sense even if it maybe doesn't in a literal sense. Where books, you haven't got a lot to work with to really capture people's imagination. So I really admire people that write them.
Got Annandale tonight. We've got Pony Records on Saturday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Newcastle Saturday night.
Okay, we're not making money or anything, but touring, playing all those different cities, to all these different crowds in a rock band that I really love. It's better than working at a bank. Ultimately, I think that the good of touring outweighs the bad, and I really love it and love playing in this band. And I think it's really important for a band to tour. I don't think it's really much room to exist as a band. It just records and puts out records and doesn't have a tour.
Everyone's just standing around the shop, but you haven't got a
you've got no authority without the microphone.
I know this is really weird, but I brought my guitar into this bookshop, and
now can you shut up so I can play?
I just thought, what the heck, I'm going to play a couple of songs,
Our population is so small. There's 20 million people here. You've got to count on a certain percentage actually liking live music. You're going to go see live music, it's going to be loud, the pubs are going to be smoky, beer is going to get spilled on you. People don't like that kind of stuff. They want the comfort of their nice little brick houses and, plasma televisions and things like that.
You have to love playing music, even though it's a hard slog. It's better than working a full-time day job, knowing that you're wasting a talent. I always thought that when I was working serious full-time jobs. I was like, oh man, I've got friends that play in bands, and I'd kind of rather be doing that. It was still a really good drum sound up there. Like, I really like to have a great drum sound, but for songs like Gangsterland, it's just like, man, all I could hear was me. Which is not a bad thing. We can't load in until 9 o'clock.
No.
What time's sound check?
No sound check, pal.
What? What are we playing?
It's a really dodgy venue. We haven't played there for a few years, but last time we played there was a really, really, really bad show.
That's like it, it's so much freer.
We're all getting in the mood.
Let's get done, you know what I mean?
Cod liver oil is good for fluid, holy stuff.
You get to go to all these different cities and go overseas, and it's just a fun thing I really like doing, and I'm willing to kind of work at anything to keep it happening. I'm in a band with a bunch of guys I really like, and so that's just like hanging out with mates all the time. Never does it really get so mundane at any point that I can't remember all the good stuff that happens.
I don't think of it as doing it for anybody. I think it's a totally selfish pursuit. I don't really feel like it's a gift to anybody. I mean, I remember someone telling me, another musician friend who's now really popular, saying, but don't you feel like you're giving something to people? It's like, I think it's totally indulgent. It's great. It's just great fun, and you're just lucky that other people like it. I'm really appreciative of the audience for actually going to watch me have my private dance.
The beast. It's known as a traitor. I don't think I've ever heard you lose your voice, which is amazing because
I did years ago. I used to lose it a bit. I had an actual show where I lost my voice totally and couldn't sing, and we played an instrumental set.
there's other ways to get people through the door and have beer. There's pokies, there's cover bands, there's all kinds of things. But they choose to have original bands, but don't choose to take the responsibility that goes along with having those original bands, which is like looking after them to some degree. It's not like bands are asking for millions of bucks and to have their ass kissed. It's just something simple like a room to be in.
So if you like rehearse,
a couple of beers and
then you're like
just general kind of courtesy. them into the old rock and roll attire. And excuse me, gotta fix things up down here.
The sign out the front, it's got BBK.
It was Richard.
Does it say Richard?
Yeah.
Well, BBK is like what?
It's not going to help you getting punches there.
Not everybody knows who our band is, and the guy is obviously the guy's like, yeah, I like this guy. I don't know that I'm their friends. It's like BBK. What the hell is that?
I was at the Cage in Uncliffe. Did you ever play there? We banned that place too because they had topless waitresses, and we're like, why are we playing somewhere with these topless waitresses? We actually asked if they could not come into they could just stay in the main area when where they're playing pokers and drinking, not the band area.
You should walk into where they're all eating and like tip the table over, spew over someone else's table, and just make everyone leave. Create a bit of a ruckus.
Jaeger bomb, and I can guarantee I'll
make it an unpleasant environment to be in. They'll be out of there. We'll be loading and set up.
Just go in there and just fart.
I told you from the beginning, knowing the time for harvesting is the time for digging.
Did a bit of a mishmash of the whole lot at the moment, so if there's a particular song that you like.
I kind of like proving things wrong. People going, wow, these guys are actually good. I always thought they were no good, and it's because they never bothered to listen to us. It's a good feeling.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
Bye, Northern Star. Hey, that was a really good crowd, like considering like what you kind of expected in terms of the tables and chairs and all that business.
Yeah.
You were snoring all night. How could you have a crack of sleep?
Oh, I kept. Well, I don't know. I just kept waking up and rolling over and waking up and rolling over.
Man, sounded like you were sleeping pretty good to me.
Was I snoring last night? I had a feeling I would have been snoring a little bit.
It wasn't like colossal. It was just sort of.
If it gets closer, you can always just.
Put a pin in that.
No, just tap me and tell me to turn over and stuff like that. She just tells me I'm snoring.
I never heard you snore before though, I don't think. You're not usually snoring probably because you got a cold.
Sore throat, lots of snot in my head, kind of sick. You know when your jaw gets achy?
Yeah.
The T1000 will not relax until the mission is complete.
I like sitting in the seat just behind the driver's seat where it gets really, really ultra hot.
Yeah, warms your feet up.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah. You get a little burning smell.
At the end of the tour, this Ross, he's shrunk a bit. Had this long trip, it's got a bit of thrombosis, but he's on the mend.
It'd be an interesting show, wouldn't it?
Then you got two of those plastic leads and you just be like. Suddenly, I'll look over and be face down on the ground. You can't move. Oh, big Ross, back up.
You lean me against the wall and I'm like, that's better.
Turns out the trailer's not waterproof. all the bags, the closer they were to the back and the fore, the wetter they got. Hopefully this stuff's okay. It's kind of weird, but
with the water coming in,
I guess.
You're drinking too much, you're not getting enough sleep. Physically it's quite hard, you know, you might drive for 10 hours, blood gear, sound check, quickly eat, hang around, have a couple of beers, play, blood gear, you know, you wake up and you do it again, and that can be physically pretty demanding. So, and on the road there's not many good meals you can have. A bit of scurvy develops, you know, a bit of a flu, bad throat, aches and pains start to come in once you're over 28.
Wish I could take this out of its case.
I'm still yours.
I guess you've got to really look after yourself on tour, otherwise you do just really hit a wall after a while, and it's great fun to kind of go out and party and get drunk every night, but if you just keep doing it over and over, and especially maybe if we didn't have a day job and we had days off in between, but you know, I got home on Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I go straight back to work.
Should we just go on?
Yes.
That's already there, isn't it?
They're waiting for you. Mr. Browns, on stage please.
Fell off the stage.
I fell off the side of the stage. That's
the bass went.
Where's Ross? Oh, he's dancing with a curtain. Anyways, don't be sorry.
No, I'm really sorry.
Don't be sorry. I had a lot of fun because it was like the pressure was off. Like, wasn't a lot of people out in the crowd, and I had 5 tequilas before we went on stage, plus we finished our rider, which was a case of beer between 4 of us.
I want to get back to the bakery again. That was over too quickly.
You do have
Wow. Get behind me, say have a pun.
What'd you have, Jamie?
I don't know what it is. Nice. It's got green in it. I know. It looks like.
Financial success had been an objective of his, there's no question that he could have written and created music that was easier for people like me or like Sony to sell. But he's not interested in creating something that he's not proud of for the sake of having to quit his day job.
I'm
like to be able to pay my rent a bit easier and stuff, but I would never really care for being rich. It doesn't, I don't know, just don't think about it. I hate working at my job and I hate being broke and stuff. But even then, I don't think, oh, if I was only rich, everything would be so much easier. Imagine if you had some one-hit wonder that got thrashed on the radio all the time. Like, say if you were the guy responsible for writing Achy Breaky Heart or something, and then you had to, every time you turned on a car radio it was on, and you knew it was you that had sort of thrust this abomination upon mankind, and you were responsible. That'd be so depressing having to hear it every day, even though you'd be really rich. The money would not pay for the fact that you just feel like a complete idiot. But then the people, that sort of person that would write that, they wouldn't feel like that. That's why they do it and I wouldn't. That's what makes it special, is that not everybody likes what you like. If everybody liked the kind of things that you like, you'd feel like it wouldn't be special. It's like finding a little thing that, like some precious treasure, you know, it's really hard to find and it's yours. What's going on with your physiology?
Just keeping it
a little uptight.
Yeah.
Got checked out of a Greek cube hostel, made it up in a Fleetwood motel. I watched the violence slip away. And I believe she is my mother as a young girl. Two bull's eyes to penetrate my small world. They burned through me over my grandmother's grave.
You don't get a lot of bands sticking it out for that long that haven't had, I guess, the commercial successes or financial successes that other bands have. And it's quite obvious that they're focused because otherwise why else would they do it?
If she wasn't born here, things couldn't have been the same. Be the same.
I think he's a borderline genius, so yeah, it's almost like being an apprentice to some really masterful craftsman. It's like he's just such a great songwriter. I'm quite happy to have him pretty much have all control. I think ultimately it's just a matter of the quality of the songs, and Jamie writes good songs.
And I am limited to be everywhere. If I'm invisible, I sure hope she understands.
Oh, that's great. Oh, you're just fine.
I don't feel as bad as I did last night, but I'm lying in bed, so it feels nice lying in bed. Ramsey sounds pretty bad.
At the moment, I'm having a good time. I'm getting really under the weather and sick and really tired. And it kind of ends like that at the end of every tour. You just slowly get tighter and tighter, and as soon as you start getting tighter, everything starts falling apart.
I have had shows where I feel like I'm going to collapse on stage. I'm really sick, but I've definitely been worse than last night. But I felt pretty bad last night. It's really bad when people people are trying to talk to you and stuff before the show, and you just really feel like you haven't got any energy and a voice to talk in a crowded bar. It's hard to talk a lot before you play anyway. It kind of wears your throat out.
And if I really don't feel well, if I really feel dead, I'll call in sick on Tuesday at work. Just try and rest. It's kind of bad too if you can't, I don't know, if you've been playing the whole time and I'll go back to Erin and I'm sick, it's like, she hasn't seen me for 5 days or whatever, then I come back half a person. It's like, oh great, I haven't seen you for ages, and then I get this kind of piece of crap that turns up that's half asleep and sick and doesn't have any energy.
When you get on tour, it can only be your own little world and you can just disappear for a while. But if you've got other people outside of the tour, like friends or family or whatever, it can be pretty tough for them sometimes.
Do you mind if whatever I wear today, I should try and keep it clean for tomorrow to drive home?
If we can keep doing what we're doing and survive, and keep doing it for as long as we want, then that's the point, I guess.
But everyone that's called up for the show, we've said it's going to be an 8 till 10 show roughly. The hotel across the road from Solbar, that big skyrise thing, kept complaining to liquor licensing. So liquor licensing wrote us a letter and said, okay, what time are you going to have your music till? Because you're not meant to make any sound after 10. I think Clay will probably be in there about 7 anyway, so you can have more of a chat to him about it.
So fucking over the top too loud for this room.
I don't think Jamie will ever stop. Whatever happens, I don't think Jamie will ever stop writing music. I mean, if sometime in the future the Blue Bottle Kiss name, gets done away with or whatever, Jamie will never put his guitar down and say, I'm never gonna, write songs again. He's just completely addicted to playing songs live, and he loves doing it. I just can't ever see him stopping.
It's not like he has to make an effort to be focused on the music because he just doesn't care about all the other stuff.
There's no end game, not at all. I mean, part of the whole thing is the travelling, the kind of thing that you're doing on the way. It's all the stuff, all the scenery that's really interesting.
And all the while, you're at his vacant mercy, running from the pine box to breathe it in alone. But loneliness brings silence, that is all, much of the time. Companionship brings violence, save it for later on, when winter births the springtime, when darkness breathes the light. You were wrong to slow burn it to ashes, to put it in a box. To awake is to erase all that memory and that fog of morning from what transpired before. And towards death I will not stumble blindly, Lord, come on, remind me softly when I'm wrong.